That's how you start a show, kind of. Dot Sean, good evening, everybody. Good evening. Well, I don't want to actually stand on ceremony. I've got an awesome guest this evening, and he's waiting in the green room. And I think, without further ado, we should welcome our good guest. Not really. It doesn't function like like other people's green rooms. But he's in the green room. He's waiting. He's ready. He's ready to go. He's been asked by popular demand. Here is the man you guys have been waiting for.
Guns. Lots of guns.
Yo, hello, good sir.
My friend, I've got to hand it to you. That was absolutely brilliant.
I'm a little jealous.
I said I made it just
intro, and we've got such a.
I know, right?
I absolutely love that.
I wanted to make it a bit more. I was going like less is more, less is more. Recon, finally. Dude, it's been absolutely amazing. I've followed you for, I think it's probably close to a year. Maybe about a year, maybe more. I can't remember. And fuck, I've just one of those people I've always wanted to talk to because I followed you for a long time. And it's fucking
sorry for the convenience.
No, dude, it's absolutely awesome. I love your Santa outfit. I've gotten... Okay, everybody's going to be very... I've got the tree up. I haven't even floofed it properly, and I haven't even put lights in because... shit takes a while. I've got to do things. Hey, we've got Rib in the chat. How's it, Rib? How are you? That's going to be the next time. I would love to do a chat with you and Rib. That would be fucking awesome.
Oh, that'd be amazing. I think he's a little more knowledgeable on general topics than I am, but seems to be a great guy. I've never seen him.
Awesome.
I've seen some of his live stuff, but
I don't think he wants to. I don't think he wants to do the whole put yourself in the spotlight, because I mean he does. But I mean with you as well. You trigger people. They get triggered by you, bro. I've seen the comments. Your comments are like, O's get triggered, and it's triggered by facts, which is what I love. It's really awesome.
Yeah, I don't read those, to tell you the honest truth. I log on and I post something, and I come back 2 or 3 hours later and I post something again. And
dude, I love reading the chats. I love engaging with retardation. It's one of my most favorite. It's a hobby I have, and I get way too deep into it. I should really stop. I'm sometimes a bit of I just sit there and going like,
I put this on especially for you. Do you like it?
Oh, it's fucking awesome, dude. It's sexy. That's dead sexy. I felt your presence. The dark side. Oh wait, I don't have any dark side tunes. Damn it!
Where's your tree's lights? There's no lights on your tree.
I know there's no. I've only put the tree up. I put the tree up yesterday, and I still have to do the whole light thing. And then I got home and I was just busy, and I had half an hour, and I quickly floofed it because it was it was all and I had to put all the branches down. So I haven't floofed it yet. I've just floofed it a little bit. Going to put some lights up, but yeah. I'm terrible for someone who's into Christmas. I'm really terrible. We were going to do the whole decorating our tree on the weekend, and we just didn't get to it. I'm just tired.
Yeah, my missus has this thing every 1st of December. She goes nuts. It's full on Christmas mode, and the tree goes up, and it's all done in a day. The entire house is very festive, but it's fun, I appreciate it.
I love the festiveness of Christmas. There's something about Christmas I just like. It's like one of those traditions. I don't view it as sort of either Christian or like anything like that. I think of it as just like a random tradition, like having a birthday. Like you can celebrate a day, and I look at it as like it's a celebration of capitalism. That's how I view it. Presents. I've got a shitload. I made good money this year. I'm going to buy my wife some KIF stuff. I'm going to buy my family and friends, except for Darth Sean.
It's not
some fun things.
It's not like Christ was born, no.
No.
just capitalism.
It's capitalism. But I think there's a whole argument about it wasn't actually, in December, yada yada yada. But I mean, like, that's why I've just gone, fuck it. Let's, I just celebrate capitalism, celebrating the free market. But yeah, man, it's really good to have you, dude. It's really awesome to have you here. And I mean, like, I think our main vibe was to have you on, somebody who, like, I mean, if like maybe that's a good place to begin. Like, what, like, your vibe is sort of, are you a gun trainer? Like, you train people with, like, self-defense? Is that the vibe? Because, like, with your intro video, like, you're at the gun range. Like, what's your vibe?
Yeah, look, there's coaching, and then there's official instructors. I'm not a certified instructor. I do have certifications that go beyond your normal competency, your competencies, competency for business use and all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to actually, for instance, I've got one of these because I figured we're going to run into it tonight. When it comes to the actual books and helping other people obtain or go through the competency and obtain firearm license, you need to be a certified instructor for that. And that is where a guy like Paratus will help you out.
So for example, Paratus is like a official gun like instructor. You're like a gun enthusiast and hobbyist, and like your vibe is more like on this. Okay, gotcha.
Correct. So I'm nowhere involved in any official business that relates to firearms. It's not part of my income or my trade.
Yeah.
That's Gideon and those guys will be able to help anybody more there. That doesn't mean that I'm not well versed, maybe as versed as they are, because they're obviously, when it comes to advocacy and having to fight these stupid fucking draconian laws, they are the first line of defense, and the rest of us just fall in behind them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what if I can ask, what got you into like, I mean, how long have you been like practicing, training, like getting into the vibe of it?
A lot of people are probably going to die now when I say this, and I do apologize, but I was extremely anti-firearm.
What?
Yeah.
Like, how long ago?
Not that long ago, man. Probably about 15 years ago. So I would say I was in my 20s, early 20s. And yeah, man, I bought all the bullshit to have it. I'll end up shooting myself, or my child might find my weapon and hurt themselves, or I don't know what we can you say something like child shooting themselves on live streams? I don't want
I think you can. I think you're not allowed to use the S word.
You have to excuse my voice.
No, it's all good, dude. No, I think as far as I know, with streaming or with YouTube, you can't use the S word, where you unalive yourself. There's, the S word for it. You can't use that.
Oh,
and
that
then also,
one.
I know.
Yeah,
and
no
also
plans
you can't
to do that anytime soon.
We're not promoting it.
Right.
Well, so, I mean, but I mean, the thing is, I think most of us, I think I was a little bit, I think it's kind of like we were all kind of lefties when we were younger. Now, to a degree, I wouldn't say I was a full-blown crazy nutter. I was like, I listened to Rage, and I was like, yeah, like people should get stuff, and the government, like I had that vibe. And then, like, as you get older and you start earning your own money, you're going, wait, hold on. No, I don't. Why am I sharing this with people I don't know, and the government forcing it from me? So I mean, I think that's quite normal. But I mean, like, what got you? Was there a specific something you? I mean, like with me was where I remember what
an event.
Like an event, but I remember
event that happened.
Like I remember
awakening.
Yeah.
But I remember I had like an awakening moment with, I think it was with like the whole concept of government, and I think it was like 2 or 3 years after 9/11 where I watched this documentary, and it was just going like I just had that going what the and I was going like, and I started questioning everything government related. Was there something like that got you going? Wait, hold on.
My conversation actually started when I was in matric, believe it or not. Like,
oh, wow.
You and I come from a very, from what I can gather, from a very kind of anarchist background, anti-establishment. We
100%.
we grew up on the same kind of music, and I think that's normal. Most guys go through that, and I was in the same position as you. And I remember sitting down with a mate one day, and this guy was very smart. He was one of the top students in school, and we were having a conversation about communities looking after each other and sharing, profit sharing, and I didn't know it had a name. And as I kept talking, this guy was like, "Dude, what you're describing is communism. Fuck that shit."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What's communism?"
Yeah.
I'm 18 years old and I've got absolutely no idea. And I was like, I got to look into this. And that was probably the biggest mistake I ever made, because that turned me into who I am today. And I just kept going through all these ideologies, and at the time I was very much on the left. And that all as I grew older, obviously things change. I think once the grand slam and the slam dunk is when you become a father. Then you start realizing that now you're not just responsible for yourself anymore. And when you leave something like the world behind for your children, you're responsible for what that is that you leave behind. And that goes way beyond just who you are. You can't do that by yourself.
No.
So you start small. You think it's a good idea to start something like a Twitter account. And then you start yelling at the ANC for things. And before you know it, you started a YouTube channel and you're spending half your income and 50 hours of your day yelling at the fucking government, thinking you make a difference.
But see, that's the thing. Well, there's a lot to unpack there. Like, one thing is, I do think you make a difference. I honestly do. I think my whole philosophy is listen, if I can have one person, make a difference with one person, whether it like motivates somebody to start a fucking YouTube channel, or give them, or just talk to one person. They go, wait, I'm gonna go read this thing. I'm gonna rethink my worldview. If I can have that effect, I think that's worth its weight in gold. I mean, I think that's a little bit, because that whole concept of advertising, like the spoken, like word of mouth is the best thing. So you talk to someone, they go, wait, hold on. They just rethink their thing. So I think like, I don't think we should ever look at it as going like, fuck, you're just yelling at the government, it makes no difference. I do think people are like watching, are like listening, and they go like, wait, hold on. And maybe they've heard you 4 or 5 times. They go, I know this guy's talking cuck. And then one day it's like, oh, wait, let me just pick up this book. Let me just go look into this one thing he said. You know what I mean?
Times have changed. It's everything's digital now, and things like social media obviously allows us to cross boundaries. Fuck, I can tag the American president. I've been retweeted by Elon Musk. You know what I mean? So
that's very cool.
Not that I'm trying to brag. I'm just trying to
that's how explain
the power
how small
of
the world
media.
is. Yeah.
Correct. So when people unite under a cause, it gets loud, and it gets very loud, and it travels. I always say that X is the trenches that new age wars are being fought in, and it's generally information 100%. Or apparently the new catchword for this year is disinformation. So it's disinformation. I don't even know what the disinformation, misinformation, lies, propaganda, who knows? But yeah, it's information wars, and everybody's lying.
But it's 100% correct. It's information war. I mean, like, one thing I just wanted to point out that you were saying is, like, you said like you grew up kind of being a lefty, and I kind of think about that. I'm going like, I don't think like the lefties we were not like the lefties of today. We were like, I don't know what, like, 4 inches away from being like centrists. We were kind of centrist, because if you look at the positions that the left have today, that's nowhere close to anybody that was a teenager was kind of like that kind of vibe. We were going, government should pay for some shit. What free education sounds cool. It wasn't like where we are today, where it's just like, okay, cool, half the country is, you know, on welfare. You know, everybody just gets paid. Fuck the rich, eat the rich. Like, it's like that's. I think it's gone way further than. What the fuck was that? Was that you, Joshua? What are you finger popping? Oh.
How am I finger pop?
I still need to
I
get
heard
used to this key light thing being in my face. I don't know how you
Yeah, it's
operate
weird,
like that. That's actually why I had my sunglasses, because I didn't know how long I'd be able to
No, just dude.
sit
In the
through this
beginning,
thing.
when I got like before I got like this Kef sort of little like the what do you call it, the deflector, what the fuck ever. It used to be like I'd sit here going, oh my god. I remember last year during summer we would stream. I would go like after the thing I'd sit here with like Sean because I didn't have all the software, didn't have the Kef mic, all that cuck, and it was just like I had to turn the shit down, sweating balls. Now it's like aircon's on, got the stuff. So it's So how are you finding like YouTubing, dude? Are you enjoying
hard,
it?
man.
No, dude,
Yeah,
it is
I
hard.
am.
100%.
From obviously there's two aspects to it. It's the whole technical aspect, like understanding lighting, sound, all that kind of stuff, which I had a little bit of I wouldn't say a background, but I had some knowledge of it. So it wasn't a complete clean state. But that was also like from tech like 5 to 10 years ago. So I had to do some catching up. I think learning camera, the camera was the biggest factor for me. And then the second part is obviously and this isn't anything that you can pick up overnight, but how talented you are with speaking on the spot. And you know,
it becomes a thing that, dude. I promise you, it's something that I looked at people like, I mean, who is it? I think like Ronaldo, Samus Sambit is one of those guys where like, oh my god, that dude, like you can give him an hour and he will talk about one topic and he'll just flow. And I'm going like,
that kid's crazy
talking. Whereas like it's
a gift of the gap. It
exactly.
certainly is a talent. It's a talent,
100%.
but I think it can be learned with practice as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not going to lie. When I came on here, I was nervous as fuck. I was literally, I had like these little. I was like, the last time I felt like this was when the first time I kissed a girl. Yeah,
no, dude. I promise you, this is ask Sean. Like I think I started YouTube fucking long ago, and everybody keep going, why didn't you do live streaming? I was like, I don't want to, because you know what? And just to be completely honest, that lack of control, right? Where like if I make a video and I'm got an idea and with a script, like I can cut, I can edit, I can make myself look like an arsehole. But when you're live, like I'll fuck up, and I'm dyslexic, and I've got ADD, and then these assholes in the chat, they love what I read, and then they laugh at me because I can't read well, right? Which is terrible. Because
to be honest, I think what Recon does is a lot more difficult what me and you do, because you've got a sounding board. You could talk to me and I can respond. Especially if let's say you fuck up, I can fix it. Where if you're on your own and you're doing a live stream, it's a lot harder. Because you don't have that interaction. You've got to just, you got to come up with something to say. So, yeah, I mean, I was watching some of Recon stuff today, and I enjoy it. Like, it's good. But I think what does work for him is where you're standing and you have the ability to move. You're not like sitting in your one space, and that helps. That's a nice little, I want to say, buffer that you do, and that keeps me it keeps my attention, which is good.
Because the sound of my voice puts you asleep.
No, I've got ADHD, so like I'll zone out. Like someone get shot, and I would just go, "Oh, look at butterfly."
Yeah. Look, so I've taken a lot of the stuff that I put on there so far has been very deliberate in a sense. Like I knew that the quality wasn't going to be at some places. For instance, the live stream that I uploaded, the quality was absolutely horrendous, but it is what I had to work with, and I didn't like it. And funnily enough, that video is almost at 1,000 views all by itself. Considering I had no followers, my dog. But I tried some things. I tried doing a bit of satirical stuff, because satire in my posts on X is a big thing that I do.
Yeah.
It's a bit different, I think. So there is a thought behind the approach. So I tried a few different things. I did a small little comedic stint. I tried something a little bit more serious, and then I landed. What I always set out to do on X in the first place was talk about self-defense, and that's always been be an advocate for freedoms, and I lost direction somewhere along the way. I got way too involved in the political aspect of things, and I think people misunderstand me often on X because they'll read one post, but your X account isn't just one post, right? It's a very long story of who, and I mean, I've been anti-ANC since, I think that's probably the reason I created my X account, was just to stick it to them for once, because that's no followers, but I felt good just getting it out there.
Exactly.
And and I've never changed. None of my opinions has ever changed. However, the responses to my opinions have changed over the years, and I can definitely sense that there's
like a growth.
Yeah, there's a very large pushback against the ANC. Sorry, we're digressing now into a totally different topic, but I can sense that there's dissident, and people are not happy, or dissent. And
I 100% agree with you. Like I've noticed that sort of change. And I don't know if it was just with Elon. I think it started happening before Elon. Like I started sensing this before Elon bought X. I started seeing like a bigger, and the voices getting bigger and bigger. And I've seen people from across racial divide going, the ANC this is enough now. I've seen it from people, like everybody across. I think it's the sort of the everybody that's not an ANC voter, that's sort of in the middle going, like that type of shit, going like, wait, hold on, this is bullshit. And then I think now I'm starting to see it from people who were previously in the ANC, like, who were like going, wait, hold on, this is bullshit. They're fucking the country up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, look, I suppose on one side you can be, you can be thankful for the fact that their numbers are declining, but where are those numbers going to? That's the problem.
That's the thing.
Their consistent failures and stuff is giving rise to these groups like MK and the EFF and whatnot, and that's even worse. So you kind of you kind of like stuck between a rock and a hard place. It's if we don't keep the ANC in power, we stuck with a coalition force that nobody wants. And if we do keep the ANC in power, then we stuck with a government that nobody wants.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, I would evaluate this, because I just want to reply to Voot asked me earlier, when did I become anti-DA? And I don't think I'd become anti-DA. The thing is, just to me, is like I think a coalition government is a step in the right direction. I think it's better than having just the ANC ruling, right? I think, but again, at the same time, I have this philosophy on when it comes to voting, going, I think like, let's vote for the strongest opposition, right? I would say that's the DA, but that doesn't mean I can't criticize the DA, because like the thing to me that bugs me about the DA is, as soon as they became part of the GNU, they became very kind of like, I mean, just look at Jan Steenhuisen going like, he's become part of the GNU now, and all of a sudden he's just like doubled in size. And it's like, where are all these posts, where are all these things pushing back against certain things that the government does? They can't now because they're part of the government. So I'm allowed to be critical of them. So I'm not anti-DA. I'm just against their tagline of just like, we get it done. It's like, that's not good enough. I want more from just you getting it done. I want you to fucking make it better.
It's like choosing between a lesser of two evils. Like they're not the best, but they're not the ANC. Right. And ideally, you want to vote for someone else, but they're not strong enough a party in order to make a change. So it's either the worst, or someone you're going, fuck, I don't really like the direction they're going, but what's the alternative? I have to fucking deal with the corrupt government. So you
see what my issue is with this whole setup is that we never get to vote for who we want to represent us. We always have to vote for the lesser of two evils, even though that party 100%. Doesn't officially represent you. It's like, well, do this or 100%. Else.
Yeah.
And what I do agree with the fact that coalition governments, most certainly it is the future. But what I would like to see is 400 parties, each with one seat.
Yeah.
Because
100%.
That is an absolute democracy, and that is it's much harder, much harder to corrupt than. I mean, look with what we're sitting with now. That's not enough. They need to completely splinter and fragment all those parties up so that those fuckers actually need to go into work and go and agree with each other on certain things instead of this little power struggle that's going on, trying to stab each other in the back every day. Because that's the same. I'm so tired of
100%.
Nobody's got solutions to anything. They're on X every single day talking shit about each other. That's our job. That's what we do.
Yeah, 100%. That's why, like, for example,
go do what I fucking pay you to do, and go go and work for a day.
Yeah. So, like, for example, like, but now the fact that, like, sorry, go for it, Recon.
No, so when government is a business. At the end of the day, the financials come in, the quarterly reports come in, or the yearly reports come in, and they failed on every single fucking KPI that they had. And if your listeners or viewers have to excuse me at home, this is who I am when I'm not going to try and be pretentious, but they fail on every single fucking KPI that they have. Now, in a normal world, the board goes, listen, you guys are failing. You're shit. Bye. Get out. You're fired. Yeah. You're done. And South African voters don't do that. We still hold on to very superficial things like who represents my race, or watch how they all campaign. You've got old Liam Jacobs, dude. Now. That is like 5 years behind. He's like, colored lives matter. And I'm not saying they don't, but we don't. That was last election slogans, and he's still there.
100% correct. Could be 100% correct, because all he's doing is he's playing the same card. He's playing the racial card, and I think the reason they play it is because it works. It fucking works in this country, and I'd love for us to get beyond that. I'd love for us to go like, okay, cool. You know what? Race doesn't matter. Race really doesn't matter, and that's why I think And speaking of what you were mentioning early on, like, you're seeing a bigger resistance against the government, but that's the other thing I'm seeing. I'm seeing a massive resistance against, like, that, like, oh my God, you're white South African. Previously, you kind of like, oh, okay, you said that, let's keep quiet now. And I'm going like, people are now unapologetic about it, going, that's so fucking white. I didn't steal shit from you. I didn't fucking ruin your life. I wasn't apartheid. I didn't segregate you. I didn't do any of the shit to you. It was bad people back then who did bad shit. Like, do I blame every black South African living today for all the money that the ANC has stolen? No, that's insane. But that's what that ideology is. That's when people go like, like, you stole my land. I'm like, no,
but remember, your biggest problem is the media. They keep pushing this agenda,
and they keep pushing it 100%.
With every argument. Like, what do you do when someone, you're racist, and you go, fuck, that's like the dumbest response. Just because you don't like what I have to say, I'm going to go, oh, you're racist. And that's what they keep going back to.
Can you kick Rib out of the chat, please? One of the moderators.
He's totally banned. Just ban him.
Fuck that guy. And he's one of the biggest culprits in this, because where 100%. Our politics and we are so blessed with such horrendous politicians. But, the whole thing around redress and everything in South Africa, our politics is framed around groups of people.
Yeah.
So it completely ignores individual agency. It doesn't, the government, and even the way our constitution is written, doesn't really see me as an individual. It sees me as part of a group of people.
Yes.
Right. And it's all dictated by what shade color your skin is.
Yeah, which is retarded.
So and there we'll go down down another rabbit hole. But it's these failures of theirs that they keep pushing these racial divisions in order to subvert from the fact that they're failing in everything else that they're supposed to be doing. So it makes it, fuck, we didn't hit financials again this year.
No.
Rip van Jan Beek, it's his fault.
Yeah,
we didn't, and that's all we have. None of them. When's the last time you saw the ANC put a battle plan on the table and said, "Listen, A to Z, this is what we're going to do, and if we haven't done this by 5 years or in 10 years or another 30 odd years, like how long is this shit going to continue on for?"
But dude, but that's the thing. Even like, and this is where I wouldn't actually give props to the EFF, but like even the EFF had the balls to put that on the table. They failed, but they had the balls to put it. Julius Miller went, if I don't build a school in 5 years, don't vote for us. Oh, you didn't build a school? No one's voting for you. You've lost like what 2% of your. There we go. That's exactly. The ANC will never do that. They won't do that. They will push race ideology. Like every single fucking what's it called? Opening of Parliament, the speech, the beginning of the year that Cyril gives. It's the same shit over and over and over. Yeah, State of the Nation. Every year it's the same thing. He said like Monday night was it? No, yesterday was it? When did he do that? When did he do the fucking family meeting horseshit? Same regurgitated cock. It's the fucking apartheid's fault, and we're about equality and and it's just like, bro, you haven't done anything. And this is like one thing I pointed out was like you see people like when was it that we had that gender-based violence march like the other day, and I'm going like, do you know what? Like the countries, and this is what we like kind of maybe is a good segue to what we're talking about. But it's like the crime is the most insane thing. And the people responsible for the crime, for the fact that there's 85 murders a day, 160 grapes every day, that's the ANC's fault. They've done nothing. We're literally sitting with an inquiry into police and political corruption with the judiciary, right? That's madness. And like the same people are going like, well, we're just going to carry on voting for the ANC. How stupid you have to be? Like, at what point do you go, wait, this doesn't work? That's insanity, like Albert Einstein said.
Yeah, no, man, I don't get it. You know, you log on to X, and it's another judge, a high-level judge. I mean, we just recently had another one arrested for corruption. The fucking police, the police minister himself is suspended.
Just think about that for a second, and like no one's going, this isn't right. Like, how are we voting for these people? How are people?
No, that's not what they're saying. As soon as you say something, you're a fucking racist. You're racist. How dare you?
Yeah, how dare you even point it out?
You know, and the mentality that suggests that, again, it's this group thing. As soon as you point out, if you say the ANC is this, but you don't like black people. How did we get there? How did we how did we draw that conclusion? And I've been calling these guys. Come here. Up. Come here.
What kind of dog do you have? Oh, is it little Jack Russell?
Is it?
What's his name?
Hunter.
There we go. That's a proper like gun enthusiast dog name, Hunter.
Yeah, no, he doesn't stop.
Duckbreaker.
He'll come now every 2 minutes.
I just want to say hi to everybody in the chat. Thank you guys for watching. Whistler, Arbot, Duckbreaker is here. Rib, everybody's here. Thanks guys. Really appreciate you tuning in to watching the show. So yeah, I mean, like, I think maybe that's a good segue to talk about like the crime thing, because again, it's like the thing is, like you were saying earlier, like your ex, when you join X, right? It's almost impossible to move away from politics. You can't, because the reason you're doing, like, you're into self-defense and this shit and going like, I need to arm myself. The direct reason for that is the government, is the current shit government we have. That's why you're like, if we lived in a great society, like, I mean, a friend of mine went to Abu Bibu somewhere now. AJM is he went overseas, went to go visit his brother. He's going to watch Metallica. He goes like, I think he's in Saudi Arabia somewhere. And he goes like, bro, people don't lock cars. People don't, like, you can leave your car running. There's no theft. Everybody's safe. It's like that. You can't do that here. Like, I saw a video yesterday of a chick on TikTok that's from the States. It randomly popped up, and she goes like, you know what's really weird here? Everybody has walls. Like, we don't have walls in America. I'm going like, wait, walls is weird to you? Like, but that's the country we're living in. And it's like, again, that's the direct causation of the ANC not being able to, I don't know, clamp down on crime. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah. So look, don't get it wrong. South Africa has always had extremely high crime rates. Even though, back in, and I wasn't there, this is just from what I've read, and a logical assumption that I can make is that all those statistics weren't as readily available, recorded, and B, available. Where maybe in the Bantustans some shit went down that never officially made it on record.
Of course.
I'm assuming. I'm not saying that is the case. I'm just saying I'm assuming. So it's always been a violent country, but like where's the end to it? And like you said, you do get pulled into politics, so you try and do some constructive things where you actually give back a little. Because what else can I do, right? It's not like I can start a paramilitary and start policing the streets. You can be involved with. I've done a few neighborhood watches and that kind of stuff. So I've been involved with neighborhood watches, but that is only at a community policing level. It's you make a difference, but you don't make the kind of difference that the country needs. No, boy. Sorry. And so as your account starts growing, then you realize, okay, now you're obviously taking on a bit more responsibility because you're responsible for the stuff you say, and you need to be able to stand behind what it is you say. And then I started getting all the flack from the other side, but you're behind an anonymous account. It's like, because I don't want to be shot in the neck for my fucking opinions, because some of you guys are really starting to get a little crazy out there. And one morning I just woke up and I sorry,
no, you're saying one morning you were waking up and then
one morning I woke up and I decided, like, what they're saying is actually also true. If I do really feel so firmly, look, I listen to many of the guys on the left. Your chat is probably going to die, but I listen to a lot of Bianca van Wyk stuff. I listen to what's that little twat who's becoming quite popular now, Peter. I listen to their opinions, and if as long as they can back up what they're saying. Peter it's a bunch of catchphrases and nonsense, but a lot of them 100%. Do actually have there's some substance behind what they're saying, and you can still try and even though it's futile, you can still try and figure out why they're saying what they're saying. Right?
Yeah.
And I think that's just responsible to do from if you're on the opposing 100%. Side, because it gives you you can't fight back if you don't have the knowledge that you need to fight back with. And this information age, knowledge is power, and you need that. So
I totally agree with you, dude. I think it's good. It's good to go watch the other side, go understand the arguments that the other side is making. 100%. I watch stuff all the time where I'm like, oh god, this kills me. I mean, like, I watch whatever, like 7 hours of like maybe Andrew Wilson, one person talking to 7 or 8 different girls who are all raging leftists. And it's like, you need to understand their worldview. You need to understand their positions. That's why it's good to go watch like other people that you disagree with. I'm struggling.
There's just so many issues in the world right now. Yeah, there's just so many issues in the world right now. Like, I'll give you an example. And I apologize if he's in the chat, but some dude DM'd me today randomly out of the blue, and he was carrying on about the whole Israel and Palestine thing and how he's got information about this happening there. And I was like, I'm thinking to myself, like, and you know what, I'll be totally honest with you, like, I actually don't have too much of an opinion on what goes on there. Same. Sometimes you get sucked into, sometimes you get sucked into I get it. People are dying. There's a war over there. It's shit. It's very bad. It needs to stop, right? Yeah. But once I start voicing my opinions about something local and somebody responds with, but what about Palestine? But what about Israel? But what about what's going on in Sudan? But like, fuck, man, my shoulders are only this big. I can't carry the weight of the world. All right. Like, I will pop on Oh, something's happening in Sudan. Let me go and check it out. Oh, something's going on in Congo. Let me go. There's a million places on this planet where bad shit's going on right now. And sorry, you just can't fight everybody's battles for them.
No, you can't, dude. No, because I mean, actually, I remember somebody. There was a dumbass. Oh, the guy with the beanie dumbass, right? Dan Corder. He made that argument. I think it was in his video regarding Charlie Kirk. He goes like, "Yeah, all these people are upset with Charlie Kirk. You haven't said shit about other stuff." I'm like, "What? Did you actually go and check? What the fuck? Why is that's not even an argument?" Like I'm like, and it's the same thing with like, it's weird. It's weird when people make that argument because it's stupid, right? I voice my opinion about the things that I'm interested about. The same with you, right? So like I don't really have a dog in the race with the whole Palestine thing. I've got an opinion or two about it, but I'm not an expert. I don't want to get into it. I haven't made videos on it. I think the only video I ever made was regarding like, October 7th when the incident happened. I gave my opinion. I don't touch it. It's not my thing. There's certain things I don't want to talk about. And I think that's totally fine. The things I want to talk about are the things I'm interested in. And it's simple as that. Just because you're interested in certain things or you're concerned with the things you're concerned about doesn't mean you're not a good human being. But I think that's an argument that leftists like that use to go, well, like it's like, I honestly don't care. I just don't care enough. I mean, like I care, like you mean, like people dying. I don't like that, but I don't want to make a video about it. It's not my thing. There's so many other people doing it. Not my bag. How dare you?
You agree, Sean?
I do. I'm like multitasking.
I thought he lost connection and he was frozen for a second.
Yeah, I also thought he was frozen for a second.
No, I'm also chatting in Discord, so I'm typing because I can't use my phone.
Yeah, but just to come back to Twitter sucking or X sucking you into things, and that's what happens because I'm actually a fairly simple guy. I don't want to pay 200 Rand a kg for steak. I don't want to pay 20 Rand a liter for petrol. I don't want to be overtaxed for bullshit. And I just want to be left the fuck alone. I want people to stop dying in my own country, like do something about it. And let's get the economy going so people can get jobs. These are basic things all people can embrace.
Exactly.
I'm not asking for you to deliver Jesus to me. It's it's fairly simple things.
No, exactly. But I mean, like, so your vibe is. I mean, maybe it's like it's maybe a good time to touch on like. So, Renee, thank you so much. We're following. Is that on? Where's that on? What the fuck is that? Anyway, so like, like the whole vibe with like it was. You said the main vibe is you becoming a dad, going, "This is why I want to get into self-defense." And arming yourself, and with that, I mean, there's a bunch of I think there's a bunch of myths when it comes to sort of. I mean, I think you're the first person we've had on that's like into you've got a gun, you do a bit of gun training, shit like that. You're a gun enthusiast. What is like? I mean, what are some of the myths because I've heard a shitload of myths about like getting a gun license is one of the hardest things. Like there's certain things that if somebody breaks into your house and you shoot the guy, you'll go to jail. Are any of those things true? Like how hard is it to get your gun license?
Yeah, so just to give you some background before I answer that, it wasn't just the fact I was involved in a situation where we had burglary attempt at home. And while my daughter was just born, she was like 3 days old,
dude.
And the powerlessness that you feel when there's three guys, trying to get into your house and you can't do anything, nothing.
Yeah, nothing. No.
You grab your bat or your ninja sword or whatever you have under your bed, and that's pretty much what you have. But the fear is so paralyzing. You literally get paralyzed by fear. I don't know if you've ever experienced that feeling before, but you can't move, you can't talk, you're generally paralyzed by it. And I thought to myself, like, fuck that. Like, never again will somebody hold that power over me. That was the first time I felt that in that. And it wasn't so much for me. It was the fact that I now had a child who I was responsible for, and I couldn't do anything to protect her. That was it for me. So I started looking around, and today you're very fortunate, because back when I got into the game, which is now just over 10 years or so ago, officially, you didn't have all the options that you had today. As you know, guns have always been in South Africa, but as far as accessories goes and training and the amount of people offering training and all those kind of things. So today's, South Africa is your oyster if that's what you want to get into. But I am also not a normal person. Katja loses her mind when I take on something new, because I absolutely devote myself to it, at least for the first 2 weeks to a month. And that is all I focus on, to gain as much knowledge and information. I never become fantastic at what I do, but I become adept at what I do, and I get there very quickly. So it's a classic jack of all trades, master of none, except you master some.
Exactly. I like
and on the flip side,
that's actually a great quote.
And on the flip side of that is I also get bored very quickly, and then I hop on to the next thing. So I never stick with something for. However, when it comes to firearms, it's a bit like when you make that choice, and most people should, at least in my opinion, but not all people do. It becomes a way of life, kind of like when you decide to take on you're going to lose some weight and you start a new training program. So you've got this diet that you need to stick to, and you got to be up at a certain time, and you've got this program. That's kind of what gun ownership is about. There are some things you always do. It's habits you get into. The day you don't do them is the day an accident could possibly happen. So you're very pedantic about those certain things. And they're very basic things, like don't point a firearm at people, which, you don't, there's no rocket science there. Don't fucking point guns at people. Keep your finger off the trigger. Use proper holsters, make sure that you know the condition of your firearm when you put it down or come in or store it, that it's unloaded, that kind of stuff. Really, really basic principles. But
if you don't put those handbrake up in the car. Sorry.
Yes. Those principles, however, can lead to dire consequences if you don't stick to them. So you have to ingrain them into you that they become second nature. And the same goes for always carrying firearms. Have them in your, immediate control. Have it on you when you leave the house. Make sure you always have it on you when you leave the house, because as that saying goes, the day as long as you have it, you never need it. But the day you need it, you don't have it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's pretty much that. So it becomes a thing that you put on your underwear, your pants, your belt, your gun, your shirt, your deodorant. Off you go. Always.
Yeah.
That's your thing. And then for me, it snowballed. It got into a little bit of competitive shooting, which I'm not really big on. The term sport shooting is a very broad phase that encompasses a lot of things. You get the competition side, shooting against time and that kind of stuff. And then you have your LARPers, your live action role players, and then you just get your general preppers, people who want to be ready in case a fucking asteroid hits the Earth, right?
Yeah, zombie apocalypse, like the Durban riots happens again.
My push to go further into it came during the July riots.
I think a lot of people know.
Yeah, there was instances there where the police were so thinly spread that we there was literally civilians blocking off roads, and I don't know where those oaks came from, but let me tell you, I was proud that day to see the amount of responsible gun owners that came out to defend their communities. They fell out of the woodwork, and they had guns there that guns didn't even know guns made.
We had it here by us. I mean, our police chief sent out a voice note that if any person needed help, not to phone them.
And Darth Sean is in the Durban area. Like, well, you're outside of Durban.
But yeah, I mean, that was the coolest thing to watch, is watch the community come together, and we started protecting like the shops, especially like the Spars and the Checkers and the Pick and Pays, because we knew this is where the food supply was, and because of the riots, it would have stopped like delivery trucks and all of that. So, but it was such a nice thing to watch the community, because also where I live, a majority of the people, say about 60%, 60 to 70%, are mostly elderly people. So it's very much a retirement area. So like the community came together and protected, made sure nothing happened. But also, like you were saying, there was so many guns. It was really surprised, but it was very inspirational as well.
Dude, it was insane, honestly. I was proud to be a South African.
That's the part that I don't think the government always gets, or maybe they do and they're just acting oblivious to it. But responsible firearm owners are such a big asset to not only their local communities, but to the government as a whole, right? And there's no reason to treat these people with little kiddie gloves like they're toddlers who are 12 years old. They're a national asset, and they can certainly be a huge asset to the government. Take a hypothetical, with our borders being the way they are, and should there ever be an invading force from North Africa, sure, our defense force is big enough to probably fend that off, but you want your citizens ready and armed.
Yeah, but I mean, like, wait, isn't our defense force like just in its like chops? I mean, apart from like I don't even, do we even have gear? I mean, like the last thing I heard, like we don't even have, like, we've got half a jet, fucked submarine, like, I mean, like the troops, like people in the military, is that still like a thing? Like, are there actually people in reserve and shit like that? Like,
Yeah, let me tell you this much: our civil and private security
outnumbers them.
The military's got nothing on them, absolutely nothing on them.
Go capitalism.
Yeah, look, sure, they've got some armored vehicles. We actually have quite a few armored vehicles. I saw a parade the other day. But I don't think it's anything to be proud of. It's certainly not on the level that you would expect from a country like China or the US, who's got a defense budget of what they do. So essentially we can fend off some rebel forces and maybe some very upset communities with bricks, but I think that's as far as it goes.
No, I did agree with you. And I think the one thing, I mean, I just mentioned, we were talking about the Durban riot. The thing that I took away from that incident was going, if shit goes pear-shaped, the government is not going to help you. They can't. They do not have the ability. There's not enough police officers. There are not enough. I mean, they didn't even send in the military. It was just absolute shit show. And like, did the military even respond during the, like, was it like 5-6 days later? Like, it was a fuck up, man.
A SAP's van would exit the roadblock to go and deal with the situation somewhere, and they would come back like 30 minutes later, and that van would look like, what's the English word? When you fought like a little origami thing that's been folded. Like how it's been peppered and belted with rocks.
Yeah.
The young the young officers wouldn't even want to go out again. They'd be like, no, we're just not going. We're just not leaving.
But I mean, like, they're not. I mean, the thing is, it's like it's a financial. If you've bankrupt the country into its chops, right? They don't have, like, you can't expect someone doing, like, I mean, like, police officer work is like, it's like almost like just above minimum wage. O's are getting 10, 15K a month. Like, I not for 1 second expect them to put their life on the line for that amount of money. It's just insane. I can't imagine them doing it. But
the same goes for the security industry. There's no pride left there anymore. And I'm not speaking for everybody. I'm talking for the vast majority. The largest percentage is that the wages have become so shitty, and the standards have obviously, as the wages decrease, the standards decrease. that's why you see so many of these syndicates hiding behind security company licenses, because that's what they use as their cover and their front. It's pretty much all gone to hell. Sure, you have some of them that stand out, but essentially they're little mafias that operate on their own.
I know by us, we if there's a problem, we don't phone the police, we phone the security.
Same here, bro. Yeah. I do the exact same. Like if there's anything, the group, like and that's the thing, like the community and the extension, the people you call, like even my neighborhood, right? We don't call the police. It's like, well, I'll phone the police like 2 days later when I want to get like a insurance claim or like just make a report so that if something was stolen, that's the only. What are the cops going to do? I phone the security company, because there's 2 security companies in my area, and it's like they're here in seconds. Like the police, phone them. I remember there was like the last time I phoned the cops was probably like 5-6 years ago. Something got stolen. Phoned them. They're like, yeah, they don't really have anybody right now. They can send someone to come around tomorrow. I was like, okay, sure, cool, dude. Just don't worry about it. I'll just just leave it, because that's the state of our country, and that's why I think it's. I mean, like I would say it's good to get a weapon to defend yourself. I mean, like I saw the gender-based violence march, and I'm going like, yeah, can't all those chicks just get a gun? Just get a gun, and then like you can stop shit from happening. It's the best equalizer there is. If you're alone, and then you've got these, and like maybe we should chat about some of the myths that there are around it. Like you were saying earlier.
I just realized you. Sorry to cut you off, but I just realized you asked me quite an important question, and we digressed and never got to answering it. You asked what was how hard it was getting a license in South Africa, and you know what? It's not hard. It's as hard as getting your husband to stand up off the couch and get him to mow the lawn. That's how hard it is. It's because we've honestly. And I don't mean to insult anybody, but I'm going to just call it the way I see it. But we've become a lazy fucking bunch of people. Eh? Yeah. We're so used to people mowing our lawns and carrying things after us and service. And that as soon as you the process to get a license is quite long, then you're just like, oh, fuck it. Like, I'm not even going to bother. Instead of starting and going through it. Yeah. So what that process actually is climbing into your car, driving into a firearms store, and simply just telling them you want to do your competency. Most of them will already sell those, will have the facilities for you to do it there. The majority of them will, the good ones anyway. If they don't, they will be able to direct you to somebody who will. And that entails you picking up like a book that looks, let's do one, something like this. So let's say you were only going to do your handgun, right? That's it. Let's get the angle right here. There's not a lot.
Do you have to write like do you have to write like a test or what? Or how does it work? Like if you go for your gun, like you go to the gun store, like that's actually a great fucking answer, because I don't know that. Like, what do you do? You go to the gun shop. I go. So you'll pay. A gun.
I think today it's probably about 1,000. It's going to be somewhere between 1,000 to 1,200 rand. That's your first step. You're going to get your book. You're going to take it home. There's going to be 2 books. You're going to have a law module as well on the law, and this is more of a practical pertaining to the actual firearm that you're dealing with. So in this case, for self-defense, it would be a handgun, right? So in the law segments, you will learn what the law says. Everybody has a right to life, even the criminals. When you're allowed to use deadly force, those kinds of situations. So very law specific. And then on the other side, you're going to have more practical things, how to deal with malfunctions and handling of the firearm and how ammunition works and that kind of jazz.
Yeah.
So it's an open book test at home where you learn it, and then at the back you're going to have some questions that you fill in. So you literally go through, the book, fill in the questions, and then on the day of the test, you will write a test based on the information that was in the book, but it is very similar to the questions that were in the book.
Okay.
And when people hear test, they freak out.
Yeah. But I mean, like, it sounds like a learner's exam.
Yeah, pretty much. But then again, the responsibility that you're taking on requires that you know those things, because unfortunately you can't just hand out firearms.
No, of course.
And I don't think that a lot of the people that actually, I think there's a fair amount of corruption that goes on there, because I've seen people with firearms with licenses that just have no fucking clue, none. And you often wonder how they manage to obtain those licenses, considering what you know. It's like with this whole cat thing on, the guy's got a rap sheet.
Bro, how? Like, I'm going.
Sure, he wasn't found guilty for anything. But I mean, the amount of
that's just
nonsense.
It just breaks my brain. How like every single time it's just, and when they say the thing, it's like it's been expunged. I'm going like, by who? The only people who can do that is the cops. So obviously, that just sounds like every time it's like, oh, expunged or whatever.
Guy's got really bad luck.
Yeah, he's just like wrong place, wrong time. Every fucking time.
Sorry, so you might have some people on your chat that's interested. So let me wrap that up. Yeah. So you're going to go and write your test. And then when you're done with your test, it gets marked. And if you passed, then you will get your statement of results from the school or the accredited facility that you were at.
Yeah.
And that then gets taken to SAPS. So that's the first waiting period of about 3 months, 3 to 4 months, depending.
Okay.
Where that goes off, and they will issue you with an official, it used to be cards, I don't think it's cards anymore, but they will issue with some kind of documentation saying, we've deemed you competent, they've checked your criminal record, your background, all that kind of stuff. Now you have your competency. Now you don't need your competency to buy a firearm, but you should probably get your competency first before you go and do that. However, you could... in order to buy a firearm, you need money, right?
Yeah. So just hypothetically, you could go buy a firearm without having. Wait, are they allowed?
You can go buy a gun right now.
But wouldn't they like if you go to the shop?
A firearm right now.
Yeah, but I mean, if I go to the shop and I'm going, okay, I want to.
Mark, you can't buy.
They won't give it to you though without.
Okay. You need the competency. The competency.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I could buy it. They'll keep it until I bring the competency.
Correct.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that word. I hate that word. Competency.
Competency. Competency. Gotcha. Like until you bring that back to them, then the gun is yours. You can take the gun home, and then that's it. That's
correct.
That's the job done. You've got the gun.
Correct, because that firearm is technically licensed to the dealer, and you need to put that license over onto your name before they can hand it to you.
Don't you have to do the?
And that is the second waiting period. So now you'll purchase that firearm. And you'll take the paperwork to get that license to your name to the SAPS offices again, where you'll go through fingerprints and all that kind of stuff. And that's your second waiting period of another 3 to 4 months, at which point they'll issue the license and you will have your first license. And that entire period, depending on how quick you go through the books and get your tests done and all, most people go and buy the books and they lie there on their desks and they never actually pick them up and go through them. So it's a bit of it's like I said, it's exactly like deciding to go through a gym routine or training program for 6 months or whatever. If you don't stick with it, if you're not dedicated to it, you're not going to achieve the end result, and that's on you. And that is unfortunately where most people fail. So we don't have problems with our laws. There's no issue with our laws. The problem lies with making sure that those laws are adhered to. This government just keeps throwing the book at everything. It didn't work. Let's double down and put some more shit on it. But nobody is actually, making sure that things operate the way that they do. We've got a huge issue with our CFR, the Central Firearms Registry, right now, and it's unfortunate because now it's our fault again.
Yeah. So, Sean, you wanted to ask a question regarding the training, like don't.
Yeah, they're like, where do you do? Obviously, when you get the license, they can't just. You have to do some sort of training, right? Like.
Or is it just theoretical?
Yeah, like I mean, when I go get my driver's license, they want to, see if I can drive. It's not the same with the firearm. I need to be able to fucking shoot it.
Yeah, so when there is a little practical section as well when you do your competency, where you will, and that is really the first time where most people actually shoot a gun, unless they've had a dad or somebody, you know, in their youth, or a friend with a firearm that took them to the range for fun. But for most people, that's the first time they will actually shoot that gun. But it's a lesson / test all in one.
Okay.
There are certain things that, you know, you have to put a X amount of rounds. I can't remember exactly what it was, but you need to be able to hit an A4 paper at a certain distance for a certain amount of shots. And nothing that's going to.
And do they also come and check you've got a proper gun safe, be it stored away?
Yeah, because someone mentioned something, you need a safe or something. Is that like legit? You need a safe?
Yeah, you do. So you do need a SABS approved gun safe, and that needs to also be installed. Again, the gun shop will give you those parameters or specifications that needs to be done at. And what will happen is the DFO will either come out to your house to make sure that it's installed correctly, or they'll ask you to. Today they pretty much just ask for photos, which is part of your application.
Oh, okay.
So those photos will be attached to that, and so that's how they do that.
Because that, like when you said that, I was going like for 1 second, I'm going, yeah, that's a bit of a like extra loophole to like just make people. Because I mean, like, but. Because I sit and think of going like, why is the government so against gun ownership in this country? Like, I get it, right? I get the vibe, but I prefer the concept of like in America, where like they have the Second Amendment. It's your right to defend yourself, and almost like in this country, it feels like I need permission to defend myself. Do you know what I mean? Like, I get the regulations; it's for gun safety and shit like that, but like that's not a right. Then it's like it's a privilege to have a gun. So like me being able to defend myself feels like I need the government's permission to do so, which is kind of annoying to me, just on a sort of theoretical, not psychological, what do you call it, like ideological point of view. It's like it feels like a red tape to me. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts on that are.
Yeah, so look, this is a contested point, but in South Africa, we don't really have the right, if you ask the government, we don't really have the right to protect ourselves. But we have the right to life, which is the first one of the first
is weird, right?
Points in our constitution, right?
Yeah, you have the right to life, but you can't defend it.
Correct, but you don't have the right to defend it. The state must do that for you. And this is the catch-22 that we are... They say it's a privilege to defend yourself.
You having a gun is not
exactly
which is it's but that's like that feels sort of counterintuitive. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like I get it. So
sometimes I have to wonder if I blame them, because fuck, we're getting stupid as a nation. Sometimes I just wonder, like, it's like I don't blame them for treating everybody with kitty gloves, because I'm pretty sure if you look at, they're not on the ground, right? So they don't face the kind of reality that we do. They sit in their lofty apartments with sea views
Ivory
and whatnot.
Towers,
and
40
they must look out at us like an animal farm, you know?
Yeah. But I mean, like,
I don't blame them.
I mean, if I can ask about the license, though.
Oh, go for it. Sorry.
I want to know: is there a license for carrying a concealed firearm or just an open,
like an open carry vibe, like they have in America?
Yeah. Well, I heard in South Africa that you have to, if you, for example, some holsters are, for example, inside your pants and not on the outside, and it's the way you carry it. But obviously, you have to get a license for a concealed. Yeah. So, for example, I can have my shirt over it. Is that just
an entire video for you? I did an entire video for you, Sean. On that point.
But then you watch it. More, can you load it up? I'd love to see it.
No, it's okay. Don't load it up. It's a long story. I'll break it down for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I'll link it. I'll link it in the chat.
I make videos to educate, and nobody watches it. Great.
Thanks, Dothron. Well fucking done. Well fucking done, Dothron.
It's a lie. I haven't gotten that far yet. I'm busy. Fuck.
Yeah, so look, as I mentioned in that video on the popular gun groups, and again, I'm not a lawyer, and I'm certainly not the authority on, there's people who've been in this game for, these are just recommendations. But as far as the law is concerned, it states that a firearm needs to be covered. I don't think anywhere it explicitly says concealed. Yeah. So there's an argument that says, well, if it's in an holster, it's covered. But no, for the sake of not complicating things in South Africa, you can't open carry unless it's on private property. Okay. So a farm
when you mean open carry, what do you mean open carry? So like just
that means it's visible. If I was
open carry means it's visible. You've got it on your back, like
it's
an
visible.
AR on your back, or okay, gotcha.
Correct, it's visible. Concealed would be if it's like inside your waistband with your shirt over it, right?
Okay.
So that would be concealed. Okay, all right.
Yeah. So open carry in public is unless you're security performing duty from a civilian perspective, then open carry is that's a no-go. But if you walk into, for instance, a gun store, you will see a lot of the guys inside that gun store do open carry because that's private property.
I gotcha.
Okay, so if I'm like
go for it.
Going to Checkers, obviously I've got my gun with me. Ideally, it's under my.
Can't go to Checkers with the gun.
No, I'm just because you're not going
to. You have to
leave it in the car because then I would fail my competency test if I leave it in the car.
That's you can't do that either.
Yeah.
So okay, go. I've got a follow-up question.
I've got my holster. My gun is in my holster. I've got my shirt over it. I can go into the shop.
Correct.
And go buy my stuff or whatever, and come out. That's fine.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You can't get in trouble for it. Now, so I've got a question.
You will have a weapon. If you own a firearm, you will eventually get to the point where you don't leave home without it. So it doesn't matter what you do. It goes with you always. The only place that can prevent you from taking a firearm in is a place that
like a bank.
Designates themselves gun-free. And that is their right as management to exercise on you, but it is also your right not to go to that establishment. So for instance, I won't go to gun-free anywhere. If I can absolutely help it. Because exactly, that's where the shit goes down usually, because criminals don't care about those signs.
Yeah, of course. But I've got a follow-up question with regards to like the keeping your gun on you. Like, because I've seen like a lot of these guys, they're like the guys that travel, they've got almost like a gun holster safe in their car that their gun kind of locks into this like thing, and it's a sort of a fingerprint or whatever. Is that considered? Would that be considered a sort of a safe for your gun or no?
Yeah. So the law, correct. The law requires you to. The law requires you to always have a firearm under your immediate control. And if you don't have it under your immediate control, then it needs to be locked away in a safe. So you do get vehicle approved safes for those specific reasons. But obviously, again, the risk of theft, should your car be stolen while it's in there, and then you might have to deal with repercussions after that for losing a firearm. That's
hold on a cotton picking second there, sir. I have an issue with that. I have an entire issue with this because it's like, because I don't know, every single time there's any kind of gun incident that happens in this country, right? The first people to get interviewed, it's never people like you, it's never people like Paratus, it's never people that are, fighting the who support own gun ownership. It's always the other guys. It's always gun-free South Africa. And I'm going like, the majority, and like one of the stats that they always raise is the fact of how many guns get lost by the SAPs. but SAPs are in control of going, well, you must have a safe. What about them? Like, isn't that kind of counterintuitive? The fact that the majority of guns not the majority of guns on the street, but a lot of guns that are being used in crimes are guns lost by the South African police. I mean, that's insane.
Yeah. So look, again, Gideon or Paratus will be the authority, in my opinion, to speak on this, because these guys, it's their income, right? So they deal with this stuff on a daily basis. So there was that case with the I don't recall the name or the amount of firearms, but the official that sold those firearms into the gangs and whatnot. And then obviously, if you see some of the weapons that are recovered from these guys, those aren't guns that we as gun owners or enthusiasts buy. These things are, they come from China. They get smuggled over the border. They don't enter here by legal means. They didn't get that by robbing a gun store or by taking it off of off of somebody. That came here some other way.
Yeah.
So how they shut that trafficking route down. That's what you should be dealing with first before you start barking up the wrong tree.
Yeah, because the thing is, every time that like I see Recon share something, Rib says something, anything there's a crime, like violent crime, cash and transit heist, and the guys get like the security people are the ones that mow them down, and like they get what I see every single time is an AK. I'm not a gun expert. I don't know much about it, but I am sure you can't just go buy an AK. You can't buy a fully automatic rifle at the gun shop, right? You can buy handguns, and you can buy like a shotgun, and you can buy like the closest thing to like sort of scary looking would probably be an AR, if I'm correct, right? Or like then a hunting rifle. There are no automatic weapons and Uzis and shit you can buy at the gun store. Is that correct, Recon?
You're not gonna find fully automatic weapons in your average day gun store. That's not gonna happen. But there are certain cases and collectors allowances and stuff where but it's far beyond what the average guy is gonna go through. As a civilian, you're pretty much going to do your SLR, which is your self-loading rifle, which will give you access to anything. You pull the trigger once, the bolt either goes, but it's one shot per trigger pull. It's not automatic, right?
Yeah.
So that's how far you're gonna go.
Like, fingering.
Yeah, I finger lekker hard and vinnig.
I do have a question though. Like, okay, so I would like to go ahead and get a handgun. I would like some recommendations on what's a good handgun.
Yeah, what's a
one that goes bang?
No, fuck, of course. But if you could make a recommendation, like I know, like for example, Whistler,
really, that's the best. That's the best advice I can give you. If you pull the trigger and it goes bang, you got a good one.
Okay, but like obviously for like a comfortable one that doesn't jam, what can you recommend? Like,
what would you recommend? What's your brand of choice?
This is a loaded conversation because ask the chat. Let everybody.
Yeah, but I'd like to.
Everybody give
I
it.
mean,
Tell us
Whistler's going Glock. Who else can recommend?
Yeah, so Glock is actually taking a rap these days, a bit of a beating, because they truly haven't innovated much. Every time a new Glock comes out, it's pretty much the same thing as the
previous
generations before.
It's like an iPhone.
Yes, however, when it comes to it depends why you're buying that pistol. So certainly you get a lot more bang for your buck these days if it might have a better trigger, but my argument is always, if you're a first-time gun owner, you don't know what a good trigger is.
Yeah, exactly.
You've got nothing to compare it to. So I've only ever owned Glocks, and the only reason I've only ever owned Glocks is because I was already you can change my weapons parts back and forth. So my slides fit on my grips or my frames, and as well as my barrels, right? So should something go wrong with one pistol, I can remove the slide. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Or the frame, and I can interchange it between the weapons. Yes, the serial numbers won't match, but I still have the license for those individual parts on each weapon. That aside, all my accessories are pretty much interchangeable with each other on all those different weapon platforms, and also they all fit my various holsters that I have. So if you were to go and buy a lot of different firearms, you're going to have to bankroll that, because the same goes for all the accessories that you need. You're going to need a different holster for each one of them. And
so what would be a good like starting pistol? Like I've done shooting before. I've used a friend of mine's got a Glock. We went to like the gun range. I fired with a Glock. I like it. It's just really loud compared to other firearms I've heard. No, dude.
What do you mean?
Glock is like the Glock was loud compared to.
But don't you want it to be loud? Like it sends a message.
They're all going to be loud. If it's too loud, you're definitely too old. They're all going to be loud. Look, I would tell anybody looking to buy their first pistol is to go to the store and go and. I think size matters for a lot of people. You know, there's gonna be a discomfort factor when it's kind of like putting on a watch for the first time. I don't know if the first time you ever put on a steel watch, it was heavy and cumbersome, and that's kind of what it's like. And then as you wear it, you get used to it. So I'm not an extremely tall guy. I'm not the biggest guy on the planet, and I can easily conceal a full frame pistol. So I don't think size should really matter. But some guys prefer small things.
What if I can ask you, Recon? What is like I mean, seeing as we're on the topic, like for example, because I always I watch this a lot of times. I watch this stuff with like again, I keep going back to this to the march that we had in Cape Town the other day, where it was like, you know, because grape is a massive issue in this country, and I think if the first thing that I think you could do is go to the gun range. Go as an experience, because every person I've ever met, they go, guns are stupid. They go to the gun range, they come back going, oh my God, I want a gun. Like, it's like, that's one thing. I think more chicks should go. And like, what would you recommend is a good starting gun for a woman? Like, they're a bit smaller, like, you know, like the one James Bond uses?
No, I know Glock makes a smaller version of it, which I've seen before, which is a nice, I want to say, woman's gun.
Yeah, I think the top seller right now is probably the Glock 43X.
I think that's the one.
I wouldn't be sure. I don't see the you know, the sales numbers of these things, but it's going to be something that is like in that slimmer kind of your compact, slimmer kind of pistols, because they're just smaller. The issue that I have with them is they only carry like 10 rounds, unless you put extended mags in them, or, you know, put other base plates on them or whatever. And then you might have as well have just gone with something with a bigger frame anyway.
Less recoil.
Whistler is a action Jackson himself. He knows.
Jackson. And I think what is the average gun like starting? Oh, wait. First, before I ask that question, like for every, like, do you need a license for every gun that you have, or like do you, when you go like that, when you would talk us through it, when we go, if you go and I go get my gun license, how many guns am I allowed to own? Just the one? Do I need a license for each one, or how does it work?
Yeah, so you're going to have a license per firearm, and you'll have one competency that covers a group, which is basically handguns and revolvers. Then you'll have a competency for shotguns, but you will have a license for every shotgun that you own.
Oh, okay.
So now so your first time you apply for one within a group, your waiting period is 6 to 7 months in total, and then after that it's about 3 to 4 months for every additional.
Then you do the
firearm that you purchase.
The second part that you were talking about, the part where you like the first, because you remember we talked through first 3 months is competency, then it gets scored, comes back to you, they go, okay, then you go to the gun shop, you go, cool, this is my thing, then you register that, which takes 3 months. So every time you buy an additional firearm in that bracket of specific firearm. You just have to do the registration of the firearm once you bought it, or like, okay, cool.
Correct.
Gotcha.
So when you do start getting involved with, obviously you're limited to the amount of firearms that you can have until you then later on join clubs. It's not something I really want to go into for this particular, I think there's a lot of people who've got absolutely no clue watching, or a good percentage anyway, that might be interested but don't know where to start. So I don't want to get too technical about it, but once you do wanted more firearms, you would need to go after your accredited statuses with sport shooting, so it's called occasional or dedicated statuses. So occasional will allow you access to a little bit more than what just your normal self-defense license would, and then a dedicated sport shooter would allow you access to far greater things. But also it takes further commitment from you. There's certain requirements that you have to meet. You have to be a member of an accredited organization. You have to be a member of a club. You have to shoot X amount of time a year. So there's some things that it's not a hell of a lot of the stuff, but again, there is some additional homework for you to do.
I gotcha. And like sorry, go for it, Dr. My bad.
So Mork mentioned just now, a lot of people go to the gun range and they have a great time shooting the gun, they get into it. But I'm assuming you've got to get used to, because I've seen in your clip, it's the movement from the holster and aiming. And I think you got to get used to that. That's a massive part of the training, because your adrenaline kicks in and like, oh my God, I can shoot, but then I fumble taking the gun out. So you got to get used to that movement over and over again.
Yeah. So what it's essentially called is weapon manipulation. And all of it is manipulation of something, whether you're doing a reload or whether you're drawing. And the entire sequence of events that leads up to you pulling that first trigger can be broken down into various segments of manipulation. The first would be, if you really want to go micro, the first would be your reaction time from your brain sending the signals to your hands, like, now I have to draw. For instance, if you listen to a shot timer, if you're new, you would draw after the P in beep, and then only you would go. So you start training to listen for the B. If you understand. So it's those mechanics that you start learning, right? Then you've got your certain indexing points, making sure that everything you do is repeatable every single time, and that you start getting into that rhythm, going slow and then speeding up progressively as you get more and more used to it. Even experienced shooters is what they would call a cold start. Your first or two draws are shitty. Just as you go through the motions again, because it is mechanics, and if you don't shoot often, those mechanics, you lose those mechanics quite quickly. It's
basically one of those things where you've got it. It's like it's a skill which you have to practice. You have to hone it. You have to keep. You can't just go, I got it, then it lies there. You've got to constantly sort of practice it, cleaning it, shit like that, right?
And just to hit on that comment that you just put up there, Darshan. So that is two separate schools of training principle, where you would, as a concealed carrier and shooting from my video that you see is more on the sports side of things, or on the duty side of things, because as a civilian concealed carrying, you won't carry or draw like that. You would draw from a concealed holster.
That's right.
Which is a whole separate set of mechanics that you now have to learn. So you got to practice both of them.
Essentially, you've got to do this on a regular basis in order to perfect it, to get good at it.
Of course.
Correct.
Because
and it doesn't have to be done at
shop and someone starts shooting it. It's got to be instinct, not I'm thinking about doing this. It's just got to kick in automatically.
Yeah.
Correct. So the reason you train those motoring skills is because when you ever in a cock situation, it's going to be your training at the end of the day that's going to kick in. You're probably going to hit a blank. You're going to react. And I couldn't tell you. I haven't been in a situation where caught me off guard before.
Only because of training, because you honed the skill.
Yeah.
Well, no. Look, I've never been caught by surprise. The one time that it wasn't actually me, I actually saved somebody else's life. I saw that happening, right? So I wasn't surprised by it. I went into it with a clear mind, and it was calculated, and I decided what I was going to do, as opposed to where you're being attacked and you're being caught off guard and you're being surprised. Then whatever you're doing is probably going to be a reaction, which is a whole different. I've never been in a situation like that where not because I'm alert 24/7. That's just never happened to me.
Yeah, of course.
It's not like it happens every day. It's like an rare occasion.
Because I mean, like but I think that's also a good thing to talk about. Is because with the training and shit like that, the fact that you've got to, but there's a whole bunch of other stuff that people can do that I kind of sometimes notice whenever I watch these videos of people getting hijacked and people at the gas station, I kind of going like, I've kind of, because I know where we live, I know the stats on grape, on murder, on shit like that. I'm constantly vigilant. Like, I think that's one of the things I do notice, and I try and indoctrinate my wife into that. Like, constantly, when you're driving, it doesn't matter where you are, look around check that someone's not following you. If you park somewhere, like, these are also things. I think that's one of the things I know that you also talk about, right? Is like, it's just being like, just vigilance around you. I think that's probably the most important thing, is to be vigilant around your surroundings of what fuck's happening, right?
Right. So the one that they will teach in many self-defense classes is called the Uber loop or something along those lines. But the one I prefer is actually Cooper's color codes of awareness. I've spoken about it a few times on the certain conditions that people live in, and most South Africans anyway are always in desert. That's the one I sent you. They might as well keep that up while we go through. So most South Africans will live in that condition white, where they unaware, they leave, they turn their car radio on, they're cruising, traffic shit, let me whip my phone out, let me sit on my, come on, everybody does it, let me whip my phone out, sit on my, completely unaware of what's going on. So that is like a super relaxed state of mind, and that's condition one. Where in South Africa, the way I always hammer on my family and a lot of my friends is that you do need a certain level of passive awareness. If it's at the very least, if you live, when you leave your door, your situational awareness level 2. That is where you should be at, and that's code yellow. So it's passive. You're still relaxed, but you don't have a phone in your hand, and
of course,
you got your eyes open. I live somewhere, and that's just because of the kind of person that I am, but I live somewhere in between code yellow and code orange, bordering on code orange.
Like bordering. Okay. Active attention, preparing for or avoiding situations. Remember the +1 rule. What's the +1 rule?
Yeah, so that's a good question. I'd have to go read up on that again. I can't remember. This infographic is from a different website where I get my stuff from. But you're essentially, like, you get uncomfortable when somebody enters your personal space, whether that's in a mall or in a queue, or I don't know. I don't like, in general, as a person, I don't like that. I don't like people coming to stand next to me within arm's length. Like I had my, what did they call that in COVID? During COVID, when you had the
Darth Sean was, he loved it. Yeah, Darth Sean was like, the best thing about COVID was people staying fucking hell of a way away.
It had a catch name though, like a little
social
catch
distancing.
Word. What was it called?
Social distancing.
Yeah. Like I social distance. I invented social distancing long before COVID ever came along. So when they told me social distancing, I was like, "Fuck yeah! What took you so long? There should be law."
Yeah.
Oh, we should make it the norm.
Yeah, just stay 2 arms length away from me. Just
my favorite thing is when the car guard comes up to me and he wants to beg. Well, not the car guard, just like the normal beggar. My response is, "No, fuck off. Go away. Don't need you."
No, just
well, here's a test example for you, right? So we're a very passive, in my opinion, we're a very passive society because take, for instance, if you see an accident, like you're cruising down the road and up ahead an accident happens, how many cars stop to go and help?
Almost
very little.
Very rarely.
Yeah, none to maybe one. People just drive past. Now somebody else is going to end. Now, see, I'm not wired like that. And this is often, it's actually more a bad thing than it is a good thing because I can't help myself. It's not a decision that I make. I stop because I would want somebody to do the same for me, right?
For you, exactly.
And sometimes sometimes you unfortunately run into some shit that you weren't prepared to deal with. And you see some stuff that keeps you up at night. I'll tell you a short story of the guy's life I saved 3 months ago.
Yeah, please do.
We had just dropped my sister, my daughter off, and we were on our way out of Paul, and we were heading down the road, and I saw this argument going on between two guys, and both of them were either on drugs or drunk out of their mind. I could see that as well. But the one guy was already busy stabbing the guy in his stomach.
Fuck.
And we drove past, and we drove past, and I could see in Katya's face, she was like, oh, fuck, here we go again.
Yeah.
And I spun around and I got out of the car and I had to put the guy at gunpoint because,
of course,
now two things are going on in your mind. Now 2 things are going on in your mind. A is, if you don't do anything, then that's going to happen. But if you do something, you've got a long mountain and road ahead of you to climb, right? Luckily for me, the side of the pistol, which is effectively a citizen's arrest at that point, was enough to get him to stop. And by the grace of God, the police showed up 10 seconds after that. They were literally right behind me. So they arrested the guy and took that off him, and they assisted the other guy. But had I not been there,
the guy could have been carried on.
I could tell you now that guy probably still doesn't know what happened to him. He was so completely out of it, maybe nobody would have given him second thought had he lost his life. It's just I can't let stuff like that. I can't just drive past and do nothing.
No. I'm with you. I would
that's my little story.
Like, fuck that. Dude, that's amazing, dude. That's really like, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah, but again, coming back to what I said in the beginning of this conversation is we can be such an asset to our community if we just were allowed to be an asset.
Yeah. No, 100%. I completely agree with you. What was that? Oh, fuck, I just have it on the tip of my tongue. But what were we talking about just before this? Damn it.
You want me to ask like what you carry on thinking?
No, yeah, carry on. You wanted to ask a question, Sean. Oh, no, I remember now.
No, do your thing. Mine was more of a statement. Carry on.
No, because I just wanted to say, it's like, but that's the thing. When you look at this diagram, and this is one thing that I've always, like, if every time I stop at an intersection, like at a traffic light, I always go, okay, cool. There's one dude there. Like, I always go, if there's random dudes walking aside the road, I'm always like going like, just okay, there's 3 dudes there, close the window. I don't have loud music on. The windows are always closed. I prefer to have the windows closed because how many people get this phone robbed? Like, just you see O's walking in the intersection. That's a lot of times where I see this shit go down. It's going like, just be aware, close your shit up. Like, just make sure there's a dude. Every time a guy gets close to my car, I'm like, I start getting antsy. I'm going, okay, here's the dude. He's going to ask me for something. And like sometimes the wife is like, she's on the phone. I'm like, babe, just lower the phone. Just for 2 seconds, there's a dude walking. You know, even though I've got that shatterproof window, I'm just like, just lower the phone. If he's just so he can't see it, it's not agree. You can't smash, grab, just little things like that. I think that like little things like that could help you, you know, overcome a situation that you don't want to be in.
The other thing that I've taught myself is to, especially when I'm at the robots, is to keep an eye on my blind spots.
Yeah.
That's something I've been aware because I've seen quite a few clips where they come up in such a way it's right in your blind spot and you can't see them. So
that happened to me the other day, Mr. Awareness. That actually happened to me. I posted about that on X, where they stole a ammo box off my Wild Trax's roof.
Oh, I remember.
And they actually had to loosen the clips that hold those ammo boxes down. So this guy somehow made it onto my bucky, took the clips off. He was nice enough to leave the clips behind. So thank you for that. Fine, for good sir. And but when we got to the camp, I was completely oblivious. I never saw it coming. And I mean, it happens to us all.
Yeah.
So if you can just pull up that little infographic, let me just finish that standoff.
Yeah, of course.
So, where training is very important, like I said, like most South Africans would live in condition white, and then something very bad happens, and it happens quick and unexpectedly, and they go straight to condition black, which is basically paralysis. That's mental freeze, body freeze. Now, condition black can happen for many reasons, but in a case of an untrained, unarmed person, they go straight from condition white to condition black, and you're relaxed and you're paralyzed. And that's why these guys prey on everybody. But if you're at least in some kind of state of alertness, which is either yellow or orange, and you recognize that you're being attacked, and you train to stay out of code black, essentially. You don't want to go into that space where you become paralyzed, which is like I told you in my story, how I was paralyzed by fear. You don't want to go there. And that is why you train, and a lot of the decisions you make before you ever get into a position to make a decision, you have already made now, if that makes any sense. For instance, I'm going to give you a silly example, but just to explain what I'm saying. Let's say I am in a road rage incident with somebody, and that person climbs out of his car and he approaches me, and he tries to intimidate me he pulls out a firearm. You, as a self-defender, should have already decided for yourself what you're going to do in that situation, should you be caught in it. There was that incident with Chris van Heerden's father about 6 years ago where something like that happened to him, where he was in an altercation and he was arguing with the guy. I mean, nothing bad towards his dad or Chris. But I'm going to call it like I see it. And this guy, he was arguing with the guy while he had a gun in his hand. And if you pull a firearm on me, I unfortunately don't have the luxury to figure out what your intentions are or to wait, because his father unfortunately lost his life. It was he didn't react to it. They kept arguing, and eventually the guy just decided, well, I'm going to shoot you. So what I was getting at is, you have to make that decision now already, that if somebody pulls a firearm on you, you're drawing and you're returning fire.
You have to, 100%. You got to know beforehand that in that situation, this is how I will react. You can't decide. You have to kind of mentally prepare for it. Yeah.
Correct. So that is switching between those states, going from a threat recognition to taking action. There isn't time for you to sit and think about it and debate with yourself or pray to God or consider your legal options or any of that. You got to act, and then know how you're going to deal with your actions later on. But those are things that come much later down the line.
So I've been watching that series called Band of Brothers, and there's a line in there that the one guy gives, and it's quite brutal, but it was such an interesting line. I'll read it to you quick. It goes, "The only hope you have is to accept the fact that you're already dead. The sooner you accept that, the sooner you'll be able to function as a soldier is supposed to function, without mercy, without compassion, without remorse. All war depends on it."
That's deep.
That's deep.
No, but it's if you think about it, it's that fact of fear, because when fear takes over, a lot of people freeze.
Yeah, of course.
And I think the sooner you overcome that aspect, the sooner you can actually function.
So
Well, look, I've never been to war, so I don't have an opinion on that, but I'm pretty sure that no human goes. Maybe you do get some people like that, but I'm pretty sure that no human goes to war emotionless, right? We're all human at the end of the day. However, many have been to war and many have been Rambos in war. So I'm pretty sure that those kinds of people exist. But again, they obviously, when you go through military training, those programs are designed for you to function in that way under pressure. I think you're going to have a hard time if you, as a civilian, hey, Darshawn, here's your AK, here's your 20 kg vest. Off you go. You know, I think you're going to have a hard time. I think anybody would.
Yeah.
Sorry, so I've got a couple of questions here. So yes, also chat, guys, if you have any questions for Recon, please post them. If I missed them, if you don't mind posting them again. So Yazine asks, what's your thoughts on revolvers?
Oh, just don't do it, eh? It's all right. It's like walking when you have a car. Look, arguments can be made for revolvers and reliability and all that kind of stuff, but I think in today's world, revolvers are dated unless you already own a semi-automatic pistol, and you might just want one for like a range thing to play with, or, you know. But as a self-defense weapon, pistols are just going to outperform revolvers any day of the week. So
quicker to reload, like the
capacity,
function. Because they're quicker to reload as well.
Some guy with a snub nose is hating me right now, but it is what it is.
But I'm assuming the pistol, if you want to go, like you said, if you want to go to the gun range, test them out, see what it feels like. If you're doing it for like a hobby, that's fine. But as self-defense, fucking avoid it.
Yeah, Yasin says he's unsubbing. He's so mad.
Come on, Yasin. You can have both, right? Have a pistol and a revolver.
Sorry, my brother, but I don't see how six rounds is going to stack up against the guy that's coming at you with 22.
But I mean, that's also another thing. I mean, it's like, because I mean, I know every time I watch these idiots from Gun Free South Africa talk about it, they always mention these things of like, I mean, I don't. The main thing I always go like, the guns are bad because a lot of people are, they get in self-harm accidents, which is not really the case. I mean, that doesn't happen a lot. Like, because the main thing is going like, and this is one of the arguments every time I hear them going like, well, you shouldn't have a gun because, if the other person has a gun, or like they can take the gun away from you.
It's absolute nonsense.
Exactly. That's horseshit, right? I mean, if I've got a gun and someone comes at me, it's like I can pull the gun out and I'll go like stop, and if you don't, then I fire. I mean, but now the question is, if someone tries to attack me in my home or say in my car, and I shot the guy like in the shoulder or wherever, like what happens in that situation? What happens? Do the cops go, okay, cool, did they arrest you? Or like, am I allowed to do that if my life is threatened? Is there certain legalities around that?
So again, to deal with the first myth, the nonsense of, look, accidents can happen, and I'm not saying that accidents haven't happened, but guns don't just shoot themselves. That trigger needs to be pulled. So in a gun, the myth about a gun just going off unless it's a certain gun, which we won't get into. But that doesn't happen unless the trigger is being pulled, and that means that there were other factors involved, like your trigger discipline and that kind of stuff. I've never had a negligent discharge, and I've been a beginner, and I've had firearms now for a while. I own a few of them, and I've never had a negligent discharge, and that just comes down to don't be stupid. And then your second question, sorry, you're going to have to remind me what that was again.
What was I saying? So like in the situation where you actually, if you accidentally, when in the situation, the legal thing, because I hear this a lot going like, people go like, oh, just, arm myself. Wow, I can't arm myself because, the law stops. I can't just defend my, because there's a whole bunch of shit can happen to me if I have to shoot.
Oh, the prize stories.
Yeah, like what? Exactly. What validity do they have, or like do you know of? Again, like not. I'm not saying you did say that you're not a legal expert, but like from your experience or what that you've heard being more in the game than the rest of us.
The law is pretty clear, and I can actually demonstrate that to you because you run into that. That is one of the very first things that you run into in the book. Now, there are some caveats to this from a legal perspective because every case will be tried on an individual basis, right? So what you
because I mean, like, I'm thinking in a situation because like I've heard the Bry stories where it's like, yeah, but like if the guy turns around and you accidentally shot him, then you're liable, and like a guy broke in, like a lot of times there's American stories. Well, the guy broke in and then you shot him and he got sued. You go to jail.
Right. So right here, first module 1 in your book, they give you the three. Where were they not on the next page? On the page after that, requirements for use of lethal force, and I'll read that out to you because. Yeah. As it says in the book, there must be an attack against you, right? Or a third party of whom you're trying to protect from such an attack, and such an attack must be unlawful. So when they say unlawful, illegal, there must be an illegal attack against you or a person of interest, your daughter, your wife, blah, blah, blah. The attack must be against the person and a threat to life and not property, which we'll get back to in a second.
Okay.
And the attack must be about to start. So basically what that breaks down to is there must be an imminent threat to life right in front of you, happening immediately in order for you to react with lethal force. Shoot, Darshan.
So what would classify that? Like, for example, a guy is wielding a knife coming at me. Is that...
That's lethal force, right?
Yeah, so there's also a concept of proportionality within the law, which means you have to proportionally respond to,
I get what you're saying.
Your level of reaction must be proportional. That doesn't, however, mean if somebody has a knife that you need to go and fetch a knife. If somebody is attacking you with a knife, that is an attack that is unlawful against a person. And is a threat to life, right? So that's the three. I like to make those three rules a lot shorter. It's you're allowed to respond with what you want to defend in court, because that's ultimately where it might end up. So if you think it's a cock story you're going to spin in court, it probably wasn't a good idea to begin with.
Okay, I get you. Okay.
So let's say the guy is coming at me. He's got a knife. I don't want to kill him. And so I pop him in the leg to slow him down. Would that be, what's the word I'm looking for? Acceptable?
Yeah, I mean, if he attacks you.
Look at that. At that point, you're such a humanitarian, Darshan. I think criminals.
I just don't want to go to jail.
Wait, but
no. Look, if you lawfully defended yourself against an attack with a knife, you're not aiming for the leg, my friend. You're aiming to stop the attack.
Yeah, totally.
What that entails is, doesn't matter where you hit him. If he does die, unfortunately, then you will, they will probably investigate a case of murder, of which you will then be found innocent of. Because you're not just automatically guilty, right? The guy attacked you with a knife and you stopped the attack. However, I'll give you an example. If a guy came at you with a knife and you mag dumped him in the chest, and then 5 minutes later...
Like all the bullets in the gun, just like...
Yeah, like you shot 20 rounds, whatever, into the chest.
Well, it might take 20 rounds to stop him. If that's what it took to stop him, then that was necessary to stop the threat, right?
But that's like sounds like 50 cents robbing you. You got shot 9 times,
Yeah, but the example, I was going to give a silly example, but if you were to shoot a guy 19 times in the chest and then you're waiting around for the cops to come, and then eventually you decide, oh man, you're just not worth living, and you shoot him in the head, then obviously you executed him, which is murder.
Yeah.
Right? because that wasn't required to stop the attack anymore. So that's where that proportionality comes in. Now.
Oh, okay. So because the question is, so on that, so like, for example, the proportionality wouldn't be like, like, oh, you should have, the cops are going to go like in court. You're not going to sit with, oh, well, why didn't you just fire once? I fired like as many times as I could because he was running at me. And that would be,
correct.
That would still be considered
often in self-defense cases, you'll see that it took at least, it depends if you get a significant hit on a anatomical part that puts a guy down.
Of course.
Sometimes true. It can take up to 5 to 6 shots before you switch his lights off. Or sever a nerve or something that causes him to actually go down. So it isn't really it's got nothing to do with the amount of shots. It's as long as you acted up until a point where you stop that attack, because remember, life comes first. And I don't always agree with our constitution, because I don't believe people like rapists should have a right to anything.
Exactly. No,
but they have a right to life, and you should always keep that in mind.
In a hypothetical, right? Again, like you're not a legal expert, but hypothetically, and it's a terrible one, right? If I come home and like I see there's a burglary and some dude is busy trying to like assault my wife or something, and I have a gun, I pull it out, I can take him down, right? It's not like that's not in that falls within the realm of he is busy trying to like, and I can see he doesn't have but he doesn't have a weapon on him. Will that still be considered proportional, like in that sort of wild scenario? Right?
Yeah, well, I think in a case like that, look, again, it's going to be up to a judge in court, right?
Yeah.
And your actions, you would need to be able to defend those actions. I think in a reasonable situation where you came home, and obviously there's a lot of ifs and buts here, and there's a lot of speculation, but if it is a situation where you walked into your house and a guy was busy assaulting your wife, nothing reasonably tells you that that person isn't armed. You're just seeing a guy busy attacking your family, and any reasonable judge would rule probably in your favor, because they wouldn't expect you to know what he had on him, or like you're not gonna prosecute yourself and go in there and say, well, listen, I analyzed him assaulting my wife and I was 100% sure he didn't have a weapon on him.
And of course you can't make those decisions. Right? 100%. Because I mean that's a lot of times the story that you hear around the braai is going like, well, you can't, because if he doesn't have a weapon on him, then you'll actually go to jail for manslaughter. And it's like, but I mean, like, but the thing I want to come back to is like the part you said it doesn't cover property. That annoys me.
Well, there is case law in South Africa that let me just pull it up. That is something I actually keep on hand quite often,
because that fucking annoys the crap out of me.
Conversations.
If you steal my shit, like you've put your life in like why the fuck not? Why can't I? If you break into my this is where I would love it to be. If you break into my house, steal my TV, and I wake up, catch you, and I see you running on my yard, I want to be able to take my gun and shoot you in the back. I'm going like, I know it sounds hectic, but it's like
it does.
And people can go like, your TV is your TV worth that? I'm like, yeah, it fucking is. Right? It's my TV. You taking my shit. Why the fuck must I just give it away to you?
I was going to answer.
Yeah. So again, that's where the
you should accept his fate.
What?
He should accept his fate.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm thinking as well. But I mean, so the thing you wanted to your reply. Sorry, Recon.
Yeah, so the case that I'm referring to is there's two cases actually, but the most commonly referred to one is the case Van Wyk, where that person strapped a shotgun to their shop door. So if I remember the story correctly, they were being repeatedly robbed, and they strapped the shotgun to their shop door. Yeah, exactly, like a booby trap.
Oh shit!
And this poor bastard or bastards came in, and they actually got killed by the shotgun. And you'd have to go read up on this. I'm speaking from recollection now, but if I remember correctly, that the state ruled, the court ruled that the self-defense was justified because it was a direct threat on their income and therefore a threat on their life.
Oh, okay.
Now that is the exception.
Yes.
There was another case, Mojo, or I can't pronounce it, but the court allowed lethal force to recover stolen property because the victim was poor and the items had real value to them. What's trivial to one person might be vital to another.
Yeah,
so
of course.
But definitely is, there's definitely case law that that does put a value on property if that property directly affects your way of life or your,
of course,
your living. That, I think that would be the exception, not the norm. And I wouldn't go around advocating for that because in South Africa, we don't have castle doctrine or stand your ground laws, which basically says that if someone, but I do believe a lot of this has to do with the farming community where, open land is roamed on. And if this was like the United States where trespassers can be shot, then I think a lot of people would probably just lose their lives for being in the wrong place at the wrong time. So I get it. I don't necessarily agree with it.
Yeah, same here.
I think if you... Sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry, go. Oh no, I'm just saying. Like, I think it's like, listen, if you catch, I mean, like, I think with farmland, I can understand, right? They can go like, well, you can't just shoot somebody to come into your property because what if that's some random dude? They're walking, they jump over a fence, and then randomly they get shot in the head by some farmer who's like, get off my land, But there's a difference between that and some dude breaking into your house to steal your shit. It's like, yeah, man. I'm fully support the stand your ground law in the sense of like if someone breaks into your house and they want to rob you.
I've made the decision to come into your house uninvited to take something that's not mine.
Yeah.
I'm with that one as well. Like if you're gonna come and take my shit,
bro, like you put your life at risk.
Possibility you're gonna die.
Yeah, again, these things get tried on an individual basis. So it's unwise to repeat Bryce stories simply stating that if somebody breaks into my house and I shoot them, that I will automatically be guilty of that crime.
Of course.
The judge is going to take things into consideration like, I mean, how are you supposed to know that person isn't armed?
Yeah, of course.
Did you take reasonable steps to not have to shoot him? For instance, if you were in a double-story house, did you stay upstairs instead of go downstairs? Or but on the face of it, the law pretty much says let them roam around and take some shit unless they threaten you.
That's
and
bullshit,
you can
though.
Yeah, it's silly, isn't it?
Is because another myth is like, is there this whole myth of you have to fire a warning shot before you can shoot them, or can you just shoot them?
No,
like if somebody
there's nothing that look, the use of a firearm is more. It's not just about actually pulling the trigger. Even if you pulled out a firearm, that is use of a firearm. If you point that firearm, that is use of a firearm. So you can actually be caught in a situation where somebody breaks into your house, all the lights are on, you see him there in the living room busy removing your TV, you point your gun at him, and he might actually go and make a case against you for pointing that firearm at him.
Pointing a gun at you,
That is use of a firearm. So it's you got to be quite careful. It has happened before, and they have won cases before where they've gone and made a case. Or they would report it to the officers, eventually arresting them for burglary. And then he says, well, that owner pointed a firearm at me. And then the firearm gets confiscated as well.
That's
so, yeah. It comes down to being a smart person. If you don't think you need to point a firearm, then don't point it. You know what I mean?
And Rico, I'm sorry, it's getting quite late. I don't want to keep you too long, but like I think last question I want to ask you is there any recommendation you have for somebody like because there's a whole bunch of stuff in the market now that isn't considered a firearm, like example a pepper, like you get these new like pellet guns, like hand guns. It looks like a pellet gun. It fires like pepper balls or it fires like pellets. it doesn't constitute a firearm because it's not firing bullets. Are we allowed to use shit like that in this country? Like if I've got like a one of those things and I can defend myself, it puts the guy down, it hits him hard enough, it maybe breaks the skin. When are we allowed to use shit like that, or is that sort of also considered in the realm of firearms?
You're allowed to use them, but I would highly just no, don't do that. They're extremely ineffective, first of all, and what tends to happen is you just aggravate your attacker even more by. I mean, you see it in the States a lot when tasers refuse to. They aggravate the people even more, and the problem with something that looks like a firearm. If let's say you and I were in public and we got into an altercation and I swung at you with a fist and you tried to either scare me off or actually you pulled out one of those things and and I mistake that for a firearm. You've just greenlit yourself for me to actually retaliate against you with a real firearm.
Yeah, because you don't know if it's not a gun. So your instinct is to respond. You're going to pull out and shoot because your life is in danger.
Exactly, and
that's true.
Yeah. That's going to end up badly for everybody because my use of force in that case would be justified against you.
Yeah, 100%.
But you would destroy my soul if I knew that I took somebody's life over a dispute and you pointed a toy at me.
Fake.
So it's just a bad day for everybody. Don't do that. They're ineffective. They don't stop attacks. I know they market them as these, less lethal. Just get normal mace, hot sauce. And that is generally enough to stop there's no need to box these days anymore. If a guy is being arahat with you, mace him and walk away. Live to
escalate.
But there's always this big ego thing, and guys want to swing their dicks around. Just mace the guy and walk away.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But the pepper ball thing, don't do that.
Is there any other questions you have?
I didn't even see the chat. Hi, chat.
Is anybody in the chat?
Anybody's commenting?
Any questions for Recon before we call it a night?
Did anybody watch the show? It's like, that Recon guy's on. Fuck that guy.
No, we had everybody. It was a constant viewership of around 40, 50 people.
Make sure you mace downwind.
I remember I had a quite story. I was at a pharmacy when I was a kid once, and there was this baton standing there, like a proper police baton. But I wasn't I was a kid. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. So I picked the police baton up and I held it. It looked kind of weird, and I pulled it, and apparently there was mace on the end of the baton, and it sprayed the entire pharmacy. And I was just ran out, and so. Weird. It was mace is a good thing.
We got a question from Whistler. Does Recon sport shoot and then IDPA or IPC?
What the fuck does that mean?
IPSC.
Yeah, so there are two different divisions. Whistler, no, not competitively. But what a lot of clubs do allow you to do, so guys like me, for instance, who like to shoot with off of battle belts or duty rigs, they will allow you to shoot with them in a competitive scene, but your scores won't count because you don't have the right gear on you. So while you're still competing with them for time, you're not actually competing for.
Fuck George.
Seriously, you're not actually competing for any stunts. I'd like to, but I do have some issues with. For instance, when you're engaging targets and you're going in and out of engaging those targets in a sport shooting setup, you will fire on those targets when they become visible, and it will generally be you won't be paying much attention to staying concealed behind a barricade or something like that. So it's counterproductive to, although you're going to learn how to shoot faster, you're going to learn how to move while shooting, all those kinds of things. It's a little counterproductive to what I'm interested in, but yeah, on the odd occasion, but I'm not out there to try to be John Wick.
So Karen Lang says here, I was told as a 5 foot something, if I'm attacked by someone who is much bigger than me, I'm within the law to use a firearm against them.
But I think what Recon, as the conversation we've had, I think with I think he said like any threat to your life could be whether the guy's armed or not, you could view that as a threat to your life. I think that's kind of what we got to, right? So even if you have a firearm, some big dude comes running at you and he wants to punch you, you could still
again you're gonna have to defend that in court first of all. And I mean, look at that. Remember that bar fight that happened? It wasn't too long ago. It was about 6 or 8 months, maybe it was a year ago, where that guy just knocked a guy. He hit him once and he ended up dying in hospital.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That's right.
Jesus,
yeah. So you get some Afrikaans oaks that are built like
brick shithouse, bro.
That's the word. They're big boys, and I certainly know a few of them who could probably kill you with a single punch.
Yeah.
Again, you would. I don't think. I mean, that is classified as assault, right?
Yeah.
Even though those arms are deadly weapons, you're going to have a much harder time defending yourself in court in that case, because you would need to prove absolutely that your life was in danger and you tried to do everything you like. Did you run away? Or did you try to run away? It's very, very ill-advised, but certainly possible.
Nikita says, just got to justify the reason for carrying a firearm. I think the fact of just living in South Africa is justification enough. If you look at like the crime stats here, I think that's 100% a justification. Yeah. I mean, I actually, preparing for this tonight, I was actually just looked at the difference because of America and the difference between America, because in America, the laws are vastly different. I looked at it, it was something like, in South Africa, there's an estimated 3 million gun owners versus America, which has, I think, 400 million gun owners. That's more than the population, right? So every person maybe has 2 guns. In South Africa, 3 million out of the 66. Our murder rates, excluding the self-harm ones, our murder rate is I think it was this is for 2023. It was something like 12,000, and America sits on 14, 15, and I'm going like per capita, we're much worse than America, and we don't have like the whole thing with guns don't kill people. It's bad people with guns killing people. That's always what it is. There's no gun that just kills people. I hate that argument. That's one of the reasons why I hate leftists in America. It's just the gun argument is absolutely retarded to me.
Yeah, the justification, just to answer her, the justification is empowerment, right? It's about taking a certain, and you won't know what that power is that you lose until somebody infringes on your rights as a human and takes that power from you. And that's why they call it a force equalizer, because it essentially puts you on level ground. So the justification is self-empowerment, and you become extremely empowered once. And not only do you become a more responsible human being, but you become extremely empowered knowing that you have a power that you choose to protect, right? It's like what's that Spider-Man saying? With great power comes great responsibility.
100%.
Corny, but
okay. It makes complete sense. But I mean, on that note, let's probably call it there. It's quite late. Guys, please, if you haven't already followed Recon 1, please do. It's been shared in the chat. It's in the description of this video. It's in the title of this video. Please go support the dude. Recon 1. Where can people find you if they're unsure? You're a
preferably nowhere.
He's armed. Be careful. Don't go and find him. Don't go looking for him. You're looking for trouble.
Don't even come look for me on social media. Just if we cross paths, that's cool. If not, it's great. Yeah, I mean, most of you guys probably know me from X. I've been on there for a long time, and the handle is @recon1_ZA. And I've recently started a YouTube channel as well. We'll see how that goes. As you can probably gather, I'm not all that an interesting person.
No, what are you talking about? We spoke for almost 2.5 hours. What are you fucking talking about? You're not interesting.
I'm trying to demarket myself here.
It's not working. It's really not working. It's really not working. I will find you and I will subscribe from that. Thank you very much, guys. Listen, I really appreciate it, dude. Thank you so much for coming on. It's really awesome.
You're very welcome.
To see like 3 months ago, and then I think less than 3 months, you just went from just on X. You make content. Your content's fucking awesome, dude. I just hope that you'll be making a shitload more, and I can't wait for you to start streaming a little bit. Whatever you discuss, what your niche is, I think it's going to be amazing. I think you're a pretty cool person all around. So, yeah, bro. Please don't stop. Please don't.
You've got a great vibe, but I absolutely love it. It's nice to be able just to come and slide in somewhere and just be yourself for a. No,
but I like that. I think that we need more places where people just have an open conversation. Like we had tonight. There's space. Yeah, well, I don't think it's a safe space. It's just a place where we can have a conversation. Like we would have. I consider the conversation the exact same conversation we would have if we were sitting down and chilling. I hate the concept of interviewing. I don't know what to ask questions. Half the time I was like, I don't fucking know. Wait, I got a thing I want to tell you. And then it's kind of that vibe. And I kind of like that. I like that vibe of just having a conversation with people I dig and people I follow on social media. So it's really fucking awesome.
Just before you go,
yes,
104 wants us to check a clip out. It should be at the bottom of Discord. It's apparently the world's fastest shooter. Is that the one? 104? Got your back, guy.
This one here. Oh, this dude. Okay, gotcha. 144. Give me 1 second. So I'm gonna quickly share it.
I'm assuming that's what he's talking about.
It's very short. It's it's like a minute long.
Yeah.
I think I've seen this one, dude.
I can't remember. It seems familiar.
All right, let's put the volume on. Sorry. Here we go.
104. Just remember, I've got your back.
They sponsored a publicized attempt by shooter Jerry Michalek to challenge Ed McGivern's speed shooting record set back in 1932. Using a Smith & Wesson Performance Center built 8-shot revolver, Michalek attempted to both outshoot McGivern and set 2 new world records.
All right, you want to film this one?
Yes, sir. Yo, Jerry!
And in 108-degree heat, I believe it was, down in Mississippi in front of a very supportive audience, he did it. I mean, he did 8 rounds in 1 second on 1 target.
Shooter ready.
1 second.
Stand by. Okay, all right.
He did 8 rounds on 4 targets in 1.06. And then he did the 6 shots, a reload, and 6 shots in 2.99 seconds.
Stand by. .99.
I bet Yazin is sitting in the chat going, yeah, fuck it, revolvers rock. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Recon, thank you so much. Really appreciate it, bro. If you would hang on for 1 second before you log off, I can say bye to you after the credits roll. Guys, thanks so much. Please go follow Recon, and we'll see you guys on Thursday night, 7:30. We might have Mr. Khos on. So just want to confirm with him. So yeah, cool. Thanks so much, dude. Appreciate it. See you guys later.